All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this. Thank you for your patience. I jump a few topics around. They asked me to cover a couple things. So I'm going to jump around a little bit, but hopefully you learned something new today. So first and foremost, I am the Director of Traffic Incident Management for the North Texas Tollway Authority. I do have to say that we are a state agency created by our state legislature here in the state of Texas, but we only have a 6 district or 6 county jurisdiction. So we're a little bit strange on that side of things as a state agency. And here's a little example of our outline of our system. Fort Worth is on the left-hand side, Dallas is on the right. To give you an idea, that's about 150 centerline miles with an average of about 11 million vehicle miles traveled per day on our system. And we're responsible for keeping everybody safe and if they're not, getting it out of there quickly. The Traffic Incident Management Department has basically 2 of the 3 stools of the engineering, education, and outreach. We have the Safety Operations Center, our 24/7, 365 traffic management center, which is slightly different from most because we also are a secondary 911 center and we dispatch state troopers through our licensed telecommunicators that are also NTTA employees. Our traffic engineering side helps us with all the statistics to make sure we don't have crashes. If we do have incidents, our roadside safety services, which our safety service patrol is a 24/7, 365 patrol on our entire roadway system. The state troopers, they are assigned to the North Texas Tollway Authority. They are tollway troopers. Even though they are state troopers, they're assigned to us as part of their district. And then we have the safety emergency management folks that help us keep everything straight in the end and worry about if something does go wrong, how do we clean it up? So today, I always start out with why we're here. I think everybody on this call understands this and unfortunately probably have seen some pictures like this. Our goal is to stay safe every day, every call. And every shift briefing, we tell everybody, you're going to go home today with the same stuff you walked in here. You're not going to have any bumps, bruises, sprains, and you're definitely not going to take a trip to the hospital. That is our goal from day one, is our employee safety and everything about it. In this picture, you can see how significant the impact of the damage was. If you look closely, you'll see that cone bases were separated from cones. Those are not 2-part cones. You can see all the debris field and how far a Chevy 1500 was pushed by a distracted vehicle. If you look really, really closely, you can see the unfortunate orange paint around some of the car. Thankfully, our operator was using his proper techniques for blocking and debris pickup on this, and he ended up with serious injury, what appeared to be serious injuries at the time, but he ended up being released from the hospital just a couple hours after this. So this is what we look out, this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're trying to prevent. Everybody going home every day. So in order to do that, as part of our continuing improvement culture that we have, as we have incidents and debrief things, we challenge our team. Every day, everybody from down to the operators up to the upper management is challenged every single day to bring a new or exciting method on how we do things. And part of what we did with that is we reaching out and always continually looking for different ideas. One of these things that came forward was what you see in front of you. It is labeled the lane blade, but it is our debris removal device. On the right-hand side, you can see it deployed. It looks much like a snowplow, but will not push snow or sand or anything like that, but man, will it remove debris. On the left, you can see that it is in the upright position and it looks like a massive push bumper. We can still do what one of our main tactics is to do, and that's clear the roadway by pushing crashed, stalled, disabled vehicles out of the roadway, box trucks, etc. This lane blade up in its configuration like that does not stop us from doing that. But when it is down, it is a tremendous help to keeping boots off the ground in any vehicle. So when you talk about debris, we're not just talking about tires. Let's say you had some cans of biscuit dough that a trash can was moving from one, or trash truck was moving from one to the other and dumped his load on your roadway. So instead of having 20 people out there sweeping these biscuit dough cans up, you can see how the lane blade was able to put it in a pile. Yeah, we still had to put it in trash cans to get it out, of trash bags to get it out of there. But instead of 20 people sweeping, this goes back and forth a few times, gets it into a pile. And meanwhile, the maintenance team is on their way with a sweeper, But by the time they got out there, we had all of this cleaned up and the road back open. So it does work on strange things, but it works on things that you probably have seen every single day in your career on the call. What you see here is what's left of an extension ladder circled in red. I want you to pay attention to that area, and you can see the lane blade coming around the corner. Normally, these two vehicles would have to park, block the roadway. Some of our employees would have to get out of the truck in order to push this debris to the median, to the shoulder, throw it in the back of the truck and remove it. But you can see approaching at about 20 miles an hour, the lane blade is deployed. The secondary truck is still blocking back there just in case something went wrong. Normally, we don't have that truck. But you can see it's pushing along the debris on the roadway. No issues, no problem. It's still scooping up the stuff as we go, and it safely pushes it off to the shoulder, where either we can leave it on the shoulder and call our maintenance team to say, hey, come pick this up. You guys have the big attenuator trucks and you're designed for that. Or we can pull over to the shoulder, throw it in the back of our truck and get on our way. But either way, you noticed how quickly that took place in that. That was about 40 seconds worth of video to get that entire ladder and all the pieces off to the side. So you're thinking to yourself, something like this must be difficult to control. But no, it's not. You can see the joystick. Most of our younger employees have a lot of experience with controllers for video games, etc. This is no different. It's got an up, down, wings forward, wings back, and a power switch all the way on. Double tapping, you can get it down quicker. So it's simply a portion of our console. You can see it on the left-hand side. It's just a utility on our console. And then in the middle, you can see the actual controls, not complicated at all. On the right, this does have two cameras that are viewed in the cab. So when you are approaching that debris, you can see that it is lined up. You cannot deploy this if you're going over 20 miles an hour, but once it is deployed, it does have the safety feature that you can speed up as fast as you need to in order to try to get out of the road. So it's a nice little safety addition to that portion of it. So what happens? What I can tell you is, as we're about to get into the next topic, do you have a plan? And I showed you that vehicle being struck along the roadway while they were picking up debris. Our plans are that we have designated areas in our CAD dispatch. So when our CAD operators get a phone call in that area and dispatch for any type of incident, being crash, debris, stalled vehicle, whatever it might be, automatically it tells our CAD operators that more than one truck has to go in this area. It took some time to look at our geometry, look at our horizontal, vertical curves, some of our on-ramp configurations. We have roadways that just opened a few years ago to roadways that were built back in 1967. So all of the geometry is different in those. And what I can tell you is that this costs nothing but time, but it is a tremendous help to everybody. You can see in this picture up in the front where the incident occurred, but you can see back just a little bit farther, there's another truck. If you notice, that cone line continues because even behind that is another truck, because this is a massive horizontal curve that what we don't want is somebody coming around that corner to quick clip and nailing one of our folks. Now I hear this from time to time when I mention this, that, yeah, we only have one truck on the route at one time. We only have two, it would take forever to get there. We also partner with our local police departments and the state troopers we dispatch directly to make sure they understand the importance of this. Because rest assured, if one of our trucks is struck, the local PDs or the state troopers are gonna have to go out there and respond anyway. So if we can help get their assistance to help move over, slow down before our incident and give people those times to look, because basically we stage where you can see us better. You cannot see people as you go around this curve until you're right up on them and it's too late. Either you strike us or strike somebody else. So I want to leave you with that. No matter what we talk about today, this is a free way to try to keep your folks safer. Have a plan. So when you are talking about trying to alert the public, the best way to tell them you're on there is message boards. Almost everybody that I see around has message boards. What separates us from others is ours rotates. So you can see on the left-hand side, that truck is almost, that arrow board is almost parallel with the truck. You can see the arrow just fine. Slight angle on the right-hand side. You can still read that message without any issue. If you ever parked a truck sideways or parked it at an angle for proper blocking techniques without a rotating message board, you're basically cutting off the message you're sending to the folks and relying purely on the visibility of your trucks. So what we have are rotating message boards. And when I say rotating message boards, they rotate 360 degrees around. So if we need to park sideways in the roadway like this, we can turn the board sideways. Not only our lights are flashing, but they can see that message without any obscurity from being turned or curved or whatever it might be. This is also simply operated from a device inside the truck, turning to the angle you want it to go, hitting go, and it goes around, and then turn it back to deploy. If you have message boards like this, the rotating portion is not much more to add to your system, considering the cost benefit of what we have. We can pull sideways across the road and block the entire road with a message facing everybody until we can get additional resources there. And here's what it looks like on an incident scene. You can see that this truck is parked at an angle to block the shoulder and the right lane. The message board looks like it's head on, and it's because it is. It is showing straight at you. Higher visibility, better reaction time from the folks, safer employees all the way together. So you see us parked here, and one of the topics they asked me to cover is mobile barriers. And what I said before is, or what I've told them was, we have mobile barriers. Everybody has mobile barriers. Here's 4 trucks. They're mobile, they're barriers. You tie them end to end. Nobody's getting through. And that's not quite what they meant when they said, hey, can you cover the mobile barrier side of your operation? I think we've all seen this. We've all been there. Roads got to be closed. We got to do something. I've got trucks on the way. Well, we have a little something else in our arsenal. We have movable barrier. Now you say, well, that is movable barrier, but that does not seem to be very efficient. You're right. We'd love to be able to bring out concrete barriers, seal off the site, protect all of our traffic incident managers, and make sure nobody gets through. This is not practical for quick clearance, quick traffic incident management. So we have the mobile barrier trailer. As you can see here, it is in a configuration being pulled by one of our tractors. It does have the screening fence attached. We don't drive it with the screening fence attached, but this is what we can put up at fatality scenes, road closures, keep the looky-loos off of our site, and make sure we're protecting the first responders. So here's a couple configurations. Here's our maintenance team repairing a guardrail, taking up less traffic, creating a spot where they're behind a barrier without any problems. People say, how long does it take to deploy that thing? It looks massive, it looks big. It's not. So here is a quick video of it coming in, deploying, and the timer in the bottom right is in minutes and seconds and tenths of seconds or hundreds. You can see that within about 5 to 6 minutes from us pulling up on scene, we can deploy everything, deploy the rumble strips we have, and then you can see us coming back to pick them up. The attenuator goes down in the back, message board goes up. By the time they're pretty much done with that, if you notice the storage area, we're putting the rumble strips back in the mobile barrier trailer and getting on our way in less than 5 minutes. So it's quick to deploy, quick to pick up, so it goes into quick clearance. People are concerned sometimes about the crash worthiness of it. Well, I can show you, here is the MASH crash, which is the latest MASH is the latest crash test criteria from Federal Highway Administration. So you can see here a Dodge pickup truck coming, the yellow one's ones you're looking for, hitting it at a roughly 62.5 miles an hour, and it barely moves. So it creates that cocoon of a space for you. But one of the things we've added to the mobile barrier trailer, and I would say you could add this to any attenuator truck you have for a very low cost, very effective thing. It's a simple radar detector and a simple feedback sign. On the back of the mobile barrier trailer, here is an incident scene. We're working an incident on there. When we first deployed it and sent it out, 63 miles per hour was the speeds we were getting from people going by. This is a 70-mile-an-hour roadway, so we were slightly impressed that they were somewhat sticking to the move over or slow down law when we were doing our incident. However, shortly after deploying and be able to display those speeds to folks, we got it down to 55 miles an hour where it was roughly staying at. Again, that's on the back of the mobile barrier trailer, but that radar and speed feedback sign we have on some of our attenuator trucks too, just doing regular closures. And it makes a world of difference for people to see how fast they're going in a big sign that's kind of pointing out the fact that they're not doing what they're supposed to, and we get compliance that way. So providing positive protection, I showed you those 4 trucks earlier sitting there blocking the roadway. Look at what one mobile barrier trailer is doing. It is providing what 4 to 5 trucks would take to do. We're working an incident scene on the other side of this. The side that we're seeing is from the incident scene. The drivers see that flat side that's coming at them. So the road is completely closed and you're not getting through there no matter how much you try. Now you look at this and you say, that looks like a weird way to set up for a closure. It looks like you're pointing right at all the traffic. However, this is on the other side of the incident. Many of you might be familiar with first responders getting struck by wrong way drivers. That happens on our road too. We are simply what everybody in the world has to deal with is wrong way drivers late at night. So on incidents, we will actually park this on the other side as well. So cocooning ourselves in, you can see that it looks like the lights are pointing at traffic, but they're not. If the lights are pointing at you, you're going the wrong way. On the other side of this is you can see in the background where the incident is working. So if you're not protecting one way or the other from the wrong way drivers on some of these highways at night, please do something to keep steel between you and them because they don't stop. And proof of that is in this picture here. It's hard to see after this picture, and everybody was shook up, so we couldn't take a picture while it was happening. But that little line you see on the ground is from the rim of a wrong way driver that was driving on his rims down the roadway towards our work zone. Uh, the guys had the back protected, no problem. We put this mobile barrier trailer on the other side of it. He was not going to stop. He ended up slightly hitting the mobile barrier trailers. He was trying to go around it, but running on rims, going the wrong way, headed towards our work zone. So it does happen, and it did protect about 6 people that night that probably would have been struck by that wrong way driver. So the cost benefit analysis for us is tremendously worth it. So with that, here's my name and contact number and email address. If you have any questions, want to discuss further any of our other initiatives or anything we have, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We also love to learn what other folks are doing. So thank you, Jim.